Okay, this is the ID52A Plus. Let me see how. Oh, I got a little tape here. I got to take off. Okay. Did I miss another one? I guess. Didn't quite get it, huh? Yeah, there we go. Fancy box. I'm assuming this is for people who are collectors. Mine will eventually end up in the trash can. Okay, oh, nice little piece of foam. Okay, there's a manual. Some cabling, battery, clip, rubber ducky. There you go. And what else is there? Oh, another type. I guess that's it. Of course, manual. I use the online manuals. Oh, I can go back. Okay, let's see what we have here. 1880 milliamps, okay. Gray, black battery. Okay, that clips in. Let's get the quality of the antenna is way better than the other ones, I have to admit. Looks more secure, but we shall find out. Oops, I better unscrew. You need to see it, right? Okay, what do we have? Plastic, battery clip, okay, and USB. Well, I normally don't use these. We'll see. Okay, power. That looks like it right there. Squelch button, push to talk. Okay. And micro SD card. Mic speaker. Oh, yeah, okay. And what is this? Probably the power charging and yeah, USB plus a DC charge. Nothing here. Let's power up. Actually, there was a charge in the battery. It's just that it was cold. It took a few minutes. It was just delivered, and this is the main menu. I will add more videos showing the settings. I did take a quick look, and there's a lot of settings. I would say there's more settings in here than there is on the Icom 705. So, I got, yeah. Anyways, I did put an SD card, and I saved all the default settings, and this way I could modify it and reverse it. So, more videos to follow. I have to say, the 52 plus, or I should say 52A plus anniversary unit, the one I have. It's probably more complicated than the Icom 7300 and that of the Icom 705 together. Let me explain. They have a separate CSV file for the weather, separate CSV file for the FM broadcast stations, and there's a couple other savings there which I noticed, but I haven't gone into it. And now that the repeater list format is identical to that of the Icom 705, the 5100, the 52. So when it comes to the repeater list, which is usually used for gateway digital, but you can also throw in FM and use your DV screen there to scan or make connections. The way I have mine set up right now, here's my repeater list right there. Basically, I got all of Canada, just all of Canada. I don't see a need of having 2400 memories for the whole world, where I just want the ones that are going to be working. So for now, I start, and then I can add more as I go on. So my settings and my savings, when I saved it for the Icom 705, I can import it into the ID52. Identical, no problems. So that's great. One less work. However, the memory channels are different. Let me go. The fields, let me go to memory channel. There's 17. The fields are the same. Well, 38 for the 705, 17, 51. So when it comes to the memory channel, there's a difference. So I just created a script in my database FileMaker where I can convert my memory channel on my 705. I just excluded bands that can't work, like the HF bands, right? Converted it, and here it is. If you look at it, now here, I'll just go there. See, basically the same. So the conversion is done. There's a couple of fields like the turning speed. There wasn't no field for it on the 705, at least it's at 0. But it's no problem. I can do a mass setup like 5 kilohertz or whatever, which I'll do later on. So all I did is put it on the SD card, put it on my ID52 Plus, import it, and it's there. I'll show it to you a little bit later. So that takes care of it. Even the FM, I had to create a quick little script. Allow me to see if I can find it here quickly. FM radio, there you go. View. It's only like 6 fields, but I figure why not? Might as well put it in. So all the local FM stations, identical to what I have on the 705. Of course, the audio is far superior because it's FM wide, while I believe on this ID52 is only FM. It's not wide. FM narrow and FM. So there you go. Again, separate file, put it on the SD card, and import it. So basically, that's it. Well, the biggest part is it. There's a few other things I know. I haven't really played with the digital voice yet, D-Stars. There is a couple apps that's available both for the iPhone and Android, which allows me to do a whole bunch of different settings. In fact, let me see if I can do this right now. Okay. Oh, did I turn it off maybe? Okay, yeah. It helps if I power off the unit, huh? There we go. There we go. Near repeaters. Unfortunately, none of them are within my range. Okay, so it looks like there's a couple of settings I have to do yet. But it works. I tried it earlier. You have little menu items. You can share pictures. You have a map. Recent history. Okay. And let's try the other one. What is the other? Oops. Wrong one. Okay, terminal call sign. I think that's wrong. I have to figure out what the problem is. Gateway server IP. Oh, didn't save from last time. Okay. I don't think I have it in my clipboard. No. Anyways, just a quick review. There's a lot for me to explore and check out. There was a couple of things that took me a little bit longer to figure out, which I will explain in the next video. Let me just a quick reminder in case someone has the Icom ID52A. There is an update. It was released November 22nd. My radio, when it arrived, it was only version 1.0. So I downloaded it, put it on the SD card on the main, the first level, and no problems. It found it, loaded, and did a restart. It went through quite a few steps. A little bit longer than the other radios. It's like they have they're taking more care or protection. So, and the nice thing about it, version 1.0 only supported up to 32 gigabyte. Now it's 256 gigabyte, which I quickly swapped out the 32 and put the 256. Okay, off to the next thing. Okay, power on. This radio is dual. You can dual receive on the same band or opposite bands, and just a matter of holding it there, and then I can switch back from one to the other. Right now I got both of them on the same channel that I use, so we don't get any signals coming in. I should watch the camera here so you can see what I'm doing. The functions, the ability of this radio is, it's enormous. There's no question about it for a handheld. I've noticed that the audio quality is excellent. Can't complain. And I'm comparing this to other radios I have, like the ID52A, which was another handheld that I had a long time ago, and which I sold, and also the 880 mobile, which I sold with the purpose of replacing that later. And of course, I have the H3, the H8, and some other products that are from China. While the H3 and H8 is great, I like the H8, the feel of it. To me, I would say the H3 has a nicer feel than in your hand, but that's because this is heavier and a little bit bigger. So, I haven't played with the settings too much other than importing all my memories and stuff like that, repeater list and memory channel. And it's set up to dim after maybe 5-10 seconds, so I gotta go in. As you can see, you have voice option, you have record option, you have the FM radio, which you can, and scope, of course your gateway, and your settings. The settings, this is where you would do all the saving and importing, exporting, and also firmware. Excuse me, the SD card. I think I had that in Bluetooth. Okay, that's different. Sorry about that. Time setting. You have display. Well, you have all sorts of sounds options. And you can also set the volume on these things, which is nice. I have it set, I think, down to like number 2, so it's just low. Just enough to know. Displays. And you can see there's an awful lot of settings. Functions. Again, as you can see, this goes on. Okay. There you go. That was a long one. QRS logs, speech, DV set, my station, call sign, your scope. You can set the scope the way you like it. And you can scan. Okay. Do tones, that should change your tones. And okay, let me just exit out of that. You have, right now I'm in memory mode, so I can actually move from memory 4 to 3, so forth. You can see at the bottom. Okay. And if I want to increase the volume, there you go. 4, 5, 6. I'll leave it at 7. Now the squelch, that was, it took me a moment to figure that out. There's a squelch button here, which you, monitor button, I guess it's called. It allows you to listen to input signal. So if you put it on there and then you turn the knob, then you have auto, open, levels, different levels. So auto seems to be working. Left it at that. That's probably the feature that took me the longest to find. I did not read the book. Don't read books like that. Okay, it dims out. I got to increase that to a much longer period of time. There is a number. That's another thing. I accidentally found the memory channel icon, and I have to look for it, and it will list all the channels. There is another way I can do it, I think. Let me just go back to SD card. If you go into import, I think memory channel there. But there was another icon, as you can see. I have the first 5 filled. Okay. And then 6, 7, 8, there were blanks, was they were not capable for this radios, like the HF band and some other stuff. My experimental. Okay, oops, let me go back. And then what I like to do is take all the repeaters of my province and alphabetize it, and all the A's would go into the under Adrian, all the B under Balzac, under C. So every city that has a repeater that begins with a C will be in that group. So I got about maybe 18 groups. Well, 22. There are some cities that just 24, 25, 26. Yeah, there's some alphabets like Q not available. And then I have emergency. Okay, this one again wasn't compatible. I added Northwest Territory, Yukon. I added a GMSR Canada and the FSR Canada stations. And let me see how many more I can go. 40, 50, 70, 80, 99. Okay. So there you go. Boy, I think I went to the side again. I don't really have a good setup for taking videos. That's something I eventually will have to do. I'll go into particular functions, especially when I get questions people ask, how do you do this, how do you do that? I'm kind of toying with the idea of making the CSV files available on one of the sites. Some coffee site, I think it is. Which I've kind of created already, but never finished it. Something I'm thinking about. It depends. Some people may want it, and most may not. So I'll just see what the feedback is. Okay, let's now go to
the ham on there.
Yeah, okay.
You could also...
Oh, there's nothing about it. I can scan on each band separately. So I can, for example, select my home bank, and then I can select some other bank, like all the DVs or something of that sort. So that's quite nice. The display is very visible. I just got to go in and play with the settings a little bit so that it doesn't dim out too quick. Right now it dims pretty quick. So I'm thinking I might like this, but one reason I got this is also for the digital gateway. We'll have to see how it works. Apparently it has features that even the 705 doesn't have. Until next time, again, I would appreciate that you subscribe, thumbs up. It helps for me, encourages me to continue adding a few more videos. And if you're trying to decide if this is a radio for you, you have a better idea. What's negative? Oh yeah. Okay, let's talk about some of the negative things. There's only one. It's not a problem for me because I use the computer to do all the programming, but it doesn't have a keypad. You basically go into edit and you can dial in the letter one at a time, then move it over. That's really old method. That's something I used to do with radios 10, 20 years ago. So I'm quite surprised that they did that. I couldn't see why they couldn't put a little keypad on the screen. Maybe if enough people complain, they would do it. So I would say that's probably the worst feature so far that I can think of. I think some of the settings could probably be reorganized a little bit more intuitive. Until you use it often enough, if you don't, you'll forget where it is. But I have to, I know you can access all the settings, and I can export it and then make the settings the way I like it on my MacBook Pro FileMaker database, then I can upload it. So I think that's another area and that they should have more easier access. I think they do have a settings, but then I think I need to download an app, and unfortunately I don't think it's for Mac, only Windows. I have to check that out. Yeah, it does dim. Okay. What else can I think of? Oh yeah, the power button. Yeah, if you only hold it for a second or two, it's not gonna turn on. You gotta kind of hold it for a while. Powering off is quicker. Now push. So I think the first time when I did that, it didn't hold it long enough. That's the reason why it didn't fire up. Plus, it was cold, so it was getting at room temperature. I'm not a microphone user, handheld microphones, so I probably won't bother getting one of those. But it does have the USB and a DC charger, cigarette charger, whatever other method. But you can charge it in USB and be receiving. That's what's nice about this. Not all radios can you charge and be receiving. Might cause damage on some of the radios, or you get a lot of hash. This one here, apparently, there's no hash or very little from what I understand. Yes. I gotta find, there's a lock button here. Lock on. Otherwise, this moves too easy. You need to use the lock. So the frequency changing, I know, I used to have up and down buttons, so it's a matter of what you get used to. Lock is off. There you go. Okay, give you more information as I learn. Take care. Have a nice day, and please subscribe.